What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to a brand new video. In this episode, guys, we're going to be doing a full set review of Crown Zenith, where I see the whole market heading into the following year of 2026 and how I could see it perform this month, etc., etc. So this will be a little bit of a long episode, guys. Sit back, relax, and go ahead and enjoy. And of course, go ahead and join the Discord if you haven't already. We are approaching 500 members, and if you want to be part of a community, get good information from me and for many other like-minded people, link in the description and comment section. And remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor, so just take all of this, do your own research, and remember, this is just my opinion. Now, Crown Zenith, let's start off with some basics. It's hands down one of the most community-loved sets. I mean, during the beginning of the 2025 hype, to be more specific, Crown Zenith was definitely one of those few sets that took off right off the bat. I think a major contributor to why that happened, and this is sort of a thought of mine, is just the fact that it really contained a lot of Sword and Shield, and as Sword and Shield was nearly ending its run during the beginning of 2025, a lot of people went ahead and chose this set because it literally contains every single Pokemon with a very beautiful artwork, and you cannot deny that, guys. Crown Zenith, hands down, gets one of the best artworks of the year, bro. It's just such a beautiful set, and it goes into so much depth. I sort of said this in a previous video. I feel like if Pokemon were to do the same amount of detail like they do with Crown Zenith, but to every other set, imagine, guys, where prices would be today. It would be absolutely insane. So if we currently look at what we see in the market as a whole right now, more so singles for right now, we currently have a lot of them, guys, at all-time lows. To get you more specific information, if we currently check, Mewtwo V-Star, for example, and a lot of the other cards had this same sort of premise. They all peaked an all-time high during like February and March. As you guys can see, during the Prismatic era, they all really reached really high, and then it came all the way back down. And we're sort of in the medium line right now, at sort of a halfway point to the all-time high and to its recent all-time low. So we're sort of seeing them come down, but we're starting to see them actually gain value again. And then even products like the ETB have been growing very, very slowly. Past month, only up 1%, but past year, up 266%. So here's my overall thought process so far on Crown Zenith. I think Crown Zenith has slowed down. I do think that, product data does not lie. It really did peak its all-time highs, and right now it's slowly fading out in terms of gaining as much value as it did. Now, I am not here to say that Crown Zenith is a bad set. That's not what I support or I'm saying. I'm just saying that's what we're currently looking like as of right now in terms of trends. Now, if we look at all of the top chase cards, we have the Giratina, of course, being a massive one that everyone wants, which is a beautiful one, don't get me wrong. Currently costing $170 raw, and it sort of just goes down the list, and prices do sort of just drop like a staircase from 170 to 115 to 95 to 72 to 65. There's some major gaps in prices right now, and whenever we see sort of this market scheme, it really depicts, guys, what the community wants, right? Obviously, the people want the Giratina. Think about it. The Giratina in Lost Origin is doing absolutely insane. So I think the Giratina V-Star is why people want this card, because it's sort of replicating that same style, and I think people think it will hit very all-time high numbers, and I do think it too. We go from 64 to 43 to 40 to 33, and sort of we level out here at this like $30 mark, 20s, and then we sort of just fall into the bulkish quality cards, as I like to say. Very, very beautiful artworks, but they're all sort of in this $20 range right here. Now, in terms of what I'm currently analyzing, guys, it's the fact that if you're going to invest into Crown Zenith, there are a few plays you could do. In terms of the singles, we haven't hopped really into a lot of the sealed product yet, but in terms of the singles, guys, I would highly recommend that if you want to invest into Crown Zenith for the money circumstance, then I think picking up possibly the 5 chase cards of the set is probably the smartest way to go, because these are the five legendaries, like theoretically speaking, of Crown Zenith, right? The Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia is a staple trio, and then you have the Mewtwo, which is just a fan favorite artwork, and you got the Giratina. You can't go wrong with that. And I believe everything else under that will do very, very well long term, but I feel like this gets more into collector preference, right? Do I like a Darkrai or do I like a Suicune? And I think it goes in sort of more into that, because they're all really, guys, going to grow the same. There's not going to be one card that's just going to skyrocket, because unless a buyout happens or something like that, usually tend to perform very, very well. Personally, I really do like the Darkrai. I really like the Glaceon and Leafeon. Very, very niche artworks and just beautiful cards. Now, in terms of sealed product, which as a lot of you know, I love talking about sealed product because it's one of the things I do on this channel all the time. I do find Crown Zenith to be at sort of a neutral zone. I do think in the month of August, we're really not going to see too much movement in Crown Zenith, just due to the fact that, as I was saying, it already had its massive pump. And I do think right now it might be a very uh, prone time to pick up some Crown Zenith product, because you have to remember, guys, this set is so old now. It came out literally almost, we're getting there. I don't know if I can officially say this yet, but it's approaching the 3-year anniversary mark, right? Crown Zenith is out of print, it's out of rotation. We are about to hop into a whole new era, and theoretically speaking, Crown Zenith was the last set of the Sword and Shield segment. So it is still, cheaper than the other ones out, just due to the fact that I think it was the last one. So there might still be a little product lingering in the abyss. I do know for a fact at Walmart people are still finding tins, but that is if you're a scalper, because if you're finding those, bro, then I don't know. I'm not going to talk about that. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, I do think that Crown Zenith, in terms of picking up sealed product, really just might be a good opportunity. I currently have a lot of the Sea and Sky collection. I'll get to that later. But in terms of anything else, guys, more so specifically, I do think that ETB will probably be the safest way to go. Whenever you invest into a set, you want to look at the top product, because the top product usually demonstrates the growth, right? If you think about Prismatic Evolutions, it's the ETB. If you think about Crown Zenith, it's the ETB. If you're talking about a series set, you're talking about the booster box, right? The top products, the top common products in the set, the booster box, the ETB, always tend to carry the legacy away. So I think the ETB is a very solid way to go right now. For everyone who's saying, man, I wish I bought at 100, I wish I bought at 50, I wish I bought at 120. Listen, guys, there's only going to be really one opportunity and one way Crown Zenith is going to go. It's just going to keep going up and up and up. So if you don't want to miss out, then I think buying one ETB is not a bad way. And in all honesty, I think Crown Zenith is probably a solid investment. I don't think it's insanely great. I don't think it's the best thing you could do right now. But I do think if you have some extra money laying around and you want to invest into some good Sword and Shield sets, Crown Zenith is hands down probably the best way to go in terms of the current market status. Now, I want to talk about one thing, and I want to talk about, guys, the Sea and Sky box. Here's the thing about this product that really is just interesting that I find. This Crown Zenith Sea and Sky box was out for a very long time. In fact, this was one of the few products that sort of, in the beginning of the Pokemon 2025 hype, it was still lingering around in Sam's Clubs. Even myself, I caught 2 restocks of these, and I didn't even catch the restock. I went days after the restock, and I was still finding these. And I think these were really hidden, as well as Blooming Waters. Those 2 are very hidden products right now, but we're talking about Crown Zenith today. And I really do think, guys, these products right now, and even before, just, I guess you could say, factually, are probably the best routes to go if you want to have a lot of pack volume. What that means is that if you believe in the packs of a Pokemon card set, which 99% of us do, picking up bulk boxes should be the solid route. The reason why is because you're going to get yourself the most price to pack ratio, and you're going to have an easier time selling these. I think you're going to have more solid growth with this, and most importantly, you'll be able to track your growth a lot easier, because the only way the Sea and Sky and the Blooming Water products truly go up is if the packs go up. So theoretically speaking, using common sense, will Crown Zenith be worth more than it is today next year? Answer to that, yes. How much? Don't know. But if we just have that price, of a pack, say for example it's $10 today, and next year it goes up to $14, $15 a pack, then the Crown Zenith Sea and Sky collection box will go up with that price to pack ratio bump, right? So it's just a very straightforward investment, and that's why I love these products. And we could see them grow very well, guys. eBay, TCG Player always have a solid route, and if you could go ahead and pick some of these up on eBay right now for around $150, which tends to be literally the all-time low as we speak, I do think that's probably solidest buy, because you are nearly paying $10 a pack. These come with 14 packs of Crown Zenith. And you guys have to remember, here's a little side note that I want to throw in. The reason why people love Crown Zenith at the end of the day is just due to the fact that people love to open this set. It's one of those abundant sets where you can open really any pack, any product from Crown Zenith, and you're gonna go ahead and pull something. And that's another, as I was saying, bonus for buying this, because if you find someone who wants to open Crown Zenith in the future, they're gonna go for these because they're gonna get it for quote unquote the cheapest price, because this is a bulk box. It's really not a collector's item. You're just buying it for the packs. And they just want to open it and pull some chase cards. And I think that is going to be a massive golden hand in terms of selling these. Now, in terms of other things, I do want to talk about the Pokemon Center ETB from Crown Zenith, which, again, has seen probably one of the strongest growths over the past year. And it's sort of not a shocker. I think if you've learned anything from the Pokemon hype, including myself, I mean, I sort of learned this the hard way, is that Pokemon Center ETBs are probably the most protective, safest, and tend to have the best growth in terms of set quality in the near future. Because if we look at, the past month, guys, these things are still getting a good pump right now. They're up 25% past 3 months, up 35, past 6 months, up 73, past year, up 205. So these always tend to grow very, very well. And as I like to say, as one of them get bought off the market and thrown into the closet, that's another one less, which bumps up the price. ETBs, there's a lot more because that's just the way it works. And Pokemon Center ETBs tend to be a lot more scarce and tend to have more quality in them. And if you want to invest in Crown Zenith, if you want to bump your investment up from the ETB to the Pokemon Center ETB, I think this is also a very, very solid route in the current market. I don't see these things as bad ways, bad alternatives to go. Now, if you are on a budget, and in pretty particular, I try to keep my videos, guys, all over the place for people with higher budgets, with medium budgets, and with low budgets. That's what I try to do on this channel. I do love these tins. Not only do these Crown Zenith tins contain very, very nice aesthetic, features. Like, I love the bird on it. I love the promo. But they also contain a good amount of value. You're going to get yourself 5 packs, a promo card, and a very nice tin for around a market price of $55. Now, these are one of the few products right now that are currently still getting found in the wild. If you guys have been watching Pokemon restock videos, you should know that these have been getting caught at Walmarts. Now, here's what I would like to say. That's why I think you should pick these up, because as soon as they rotate out of Walmart restocks, these are going to go up very, very high. Not just due to the fact that, it's a Crown Zenith product, but because they're tins. And tins usually tend to do very, very well, especially when the tin has a very nice aesthetic feature to it. They tend to do much better than the basic tins out there. And because it contains the birds, guys, you got the Articuno, the Moltres, and Zapdos. By the way, the Zapdos is the cheapest one at the moment. As it's the 3 birds, they will probably have a very strong community around it, and we'll probably see strong growth. Past year, up 100%. Past month, up 10. Past 3 months, 16. Past 6 months, 46. Past year, up 100, I was saying. So these things have definitely grown, and it's just one of those few products that you might have to just, pick up if you don't have them already. I managed to get one of these. Very happy I did. Picked up a promo of them, throwing them in my closet, and I'm going on with my day. If we currently look at the lowest sales right now for this, we had some of them sell for 50, some 65, 56, 53. So I guess if you can go ahead and negotiate and probably get it for $50, I think that's an absolute snag, because you get that easy price to pack ratio for around $10 in that tin, which is very, very nice. Now, before we go ahead, guys, and end off this video, I do want to talk about one more thing. I do want to talk about the Crown Zenith mini tin display, because what I really do like about these items is the fact that they're very, very niche in the market, and there's not a lot of them out there. Let's start off with the fact that these are what I would like to call, guys, sort of the hidden gems, because if you look at, these special sets, we usually have how should I say this? We have a limited amount of cool product being released. Prismatic Evolutions tended to be a little bit more of the favorite child, and it got a surprise box. It got, so much junk, I guess you could say. But Crown Zenith really didn't get everything. It didn't get a UPC, right? Dude, that'd be crazy if Crown Zenith got a UPC. We really didn't get much, guys. We got the mini tin display, the Zacian figure collection, Sea and Sky, and that's sort of about it. It's a very, very straightforward set. And I do think the mini tin display probably carries it away in terms of the collector item aesthetic. Now, these things are kind of pricey. I did talk about them like nearly 2 months ago when they were around $220. Now, lowest listing looks to be $300 right now, so kind of expensive. But regardless of the fact, these are very, very nice. Just a personal thought here. If I went to buy a collection and I saw one of these, I'd be like, let me buy that, bro, because that is so cool. It's a very, very niche item, and I think as more of them get bought off the market, they just tend to go up higher. And there's not a lot out there yet. So keep that in mind if you wanted to invest into the Crown Zenith 10 display. I do really, really like this item personally, and I think it would do very, very well. I mean, just look at the artwork. You got a Charizard on the front. You got a Marnie, Morpeko, you got Hop, you got the freaking Marnie too. It's just a very, very nice tin for sure. And also want to throw that out there, guys, is that these tend to be owner's control. What I mean by that is, as the market is so small for these products, whenever one sells, the next up is a high jump. So if one sells for 300, the next one could be 330, and then after that could be 400. And of course, there's eBay, Facebook Marketplace, TCG Player, a whole list of sources, but it really, really is a small market. So if you want to have that extra control over your pricing, then investing into something like this is a very good way to go. Obviously, not expensive. I mean, obviously it is expensive, but not crazy. So it's just 300, not 1,000, if that's a thought process out there. Now, thank you all so much for watching. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.